Okay, today I'm in Northeast Ohio and I'm breaking down a hunt from November 4th, 2018, where I shot a buck that I called Boss Hog. He was an 8.5-year-old buck. Myself and a couple friends were after him for several years. He didn't walk around in daylight very often, but we did have a lot of history with him and a lot of trail camera photos of him, and we knew that he liked to walk a north-south transition through this area right here. It's really thick in here. There's a lot of swamp white oak in here. There's good doe bedding in here in a couple different sides of this spot. And there's a trail that runs through here from the northwest that goes to the southeast down to a creek crossing. And I've gotten pictures of this buck on this trail over the years. Now, they were always at nighttime, but this season he had started showing up a little more during daylight. I don't know if he was on a suicide mission or what his deal was. When he turned 8.5, he walked around more during daylight than he had in the past. And the only problem is the wind is totally wrong for this setup. And the tree is right up here. And as you can see, I don't go very high off the ground. You don't really have to be high off the ground to shoot mature deer. But what I decided was, since every time I've ever hunted this buck with what I thought was the right wind, and it was the right wind for me, it ended up being the wrong wind for him. So he just wasn't coming through on those winds. I had him on camera about 150 yards from this spot back in 15 and 14, several times skirting the edge of a doe bedding area, and he was always going through that area with a north wind. Well, I needed a south wind because there was no trees to set up for a north wind stand. So I would just, I'd put I would set up with a south wind and just hope that he was just going to come through there that day, because that's a doe bedding area and he's going to come looking for a doe. Well, he just wouldn't do it. He would only walk that trail when the wind was blowing out of the north. So basically he was unkillable right there. And this stand here that I killed him out of, same deal. I mean, I could put a stand on either side of this trail. That's not what I mean, but I started, figuring out after time that this buck is going to walk this trail that runs from the northwest down to the southeast. He's going to only walk it, in my opinion, when there was an east wind or something with east in it. So what I did was I came in here on a day when we had a high pressure system, and I had that counterclockwise air movement. It started off in southeast and was working its way around to the northeast. It was started out in the southeast and was working its way around to a northeast wind. And as everyone knows, in the mornings with the high pressure, usually your scent will stay up. So that's what I was banking on. And about 9 o'clock, he came through. Everything was totally wrong in the setup. If you go by, what most people think when they go into a setup, they think, well, I have to have the wind in my face. Well, I didn't have the wind in my face. And I was floating milkweed all morning long, and it was staying over this trail. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, he came right down this trail, and I shot him through the heart, and he went about 50 yards. And that just goes to show you, sometimes you just got to be aggressive and hunt the wrong wind. Well, the worst thing you can do is bump them out of there and just move on to the next spot.